You know, it's interesting preparing to talk about the new children. You don't know what kind of group you're going to get, because I could easily have someone that's barely even awakened that has a 2-year-old and she's 23 or whatever. And so there's a really wide, diverse level of information that we work with all the time. Now, for you guys, everybody have children of some age? You don't, Glenn?
I don't.
I have 10 grandkids. Would you like one? Pick a size, pick a model, we have plenty.
Which variety of child is he? Is he indigo or?
Well, I'm going to talk about that. Would you like a crystal child, a rainbow child, an indigo child, a hybrid, starseed? What would you like?
I'm not real clear about all of them, but I know they're extraordinary.
It is fun. It is fun. Has any of you guys ever raised a 5th dimensional child?
Maybe.
They're coming in. Since 2012, the Earth's contract for 3rd density children has fully expired. So the only kids coming in are either 4th or 5th or some combination.
Wow.
But now what I mean by that, and I'm sure most everybody, is there anybody that doesn't understand at least what I'm kind of referring to by dimensional or density within that? You guys good?
Good.
The way I like to think about it when I'm trying to explain it to somebody new is more along the lines of consciousness. We have unity consciousness and separation consciousness. Part of the reason I chose the term quantum children is all of these kids are aligned for unity consciousness. The problem is their parents could still be working with a lot of 3rd density old paradigms. One of my favorite analogies is to see them as a brand new computer. State of the art, right off the shelf. Its operating system is New Earth. You can put a number to it with your, but it's the New Earth operating system. Pure unity consciousness, that's what they're aligned for. The parents, however, are like a Windows 98. Now, we spend all kinds of energy buying programs for our operating system. Whatever belief we have, whatever programming we pick up, in essence, we've spent energy, enormous amounts of energy, pulling these in. And what happens when we buy a new computer? I want to load that sucker up with everything I have so I don't have to buy new programs. And that's exactly what happens with these kids. Up until age 7, we absorb everything from mom and dad directly into our subconscious. Everything they are doing, every energetic, their state of being, how they see themselves is absorbed directly into the subconscious. So think about that. My mother was born in 32. Things have changed a bit. Even since the 50s and 60s, the paradigms have changed. So these parents, if you think of it, and this is part of the great illusion that occurs. In fact, when I had dinner tonight, I was having fun talking with the waitress. She was 21. And I was telling her a little bit about what I did and everything, and speculated that sure enough, when it comes 25 with her boyfriend or partner, that she'd like to maybe have children. And every pattern, everything mom and dad did up to age 7 is re-triggered when her beautiful daughter gets born. It comes forward. That's kind of part of the way we've been set up to operate. However, with the shifts in consciousness going as fast as they are, we haven't had any time to catch up. Think about it. All the patterns are designed to be just replicated one over another, over another. Then you have structures in society. Structure in society in general is stuck energy. It is set at the time frame that it was created. Big Pharma. When was Big Pharma actually created? Do you guys know? Or started?
20s?
Back in the 20s. Rockefeller. Rockefeller invested heavily in one of the German drug companies, and it was designed for the purpose of business, that was the most money he could make in that business. Had nothing to do with health whatsoever. And he invested in med schools, he took over boards of directors, and they did anything and everything they could do to eliminate any form of competition. It wasn't about being against homeopath. His doctor was a homeopath. It was about the competition. He hated competition. And as a business model, he did everything he could to eliminate the competition. So every form of energy medicine, whether it was Royal Rife or Tesla with his material or anything else that came along, was deliberately squashed. And that was started in 1920. We should be 100 years ahead of where we are now with energy medicine. Now that's just that one structure. How about the education system? When was it created? Any idea?
When they needed factory workers, I don't know.
Yeah,
what it was.
late 1800s. Late 1800s, it was designed to create factory workers at the turn of the century. It was not designed to create creative individuals. It was designed to give a certain level of education, very complicit to authority, and create a worker class for everything they were doing. So here you got, our two biggest structures are over 100 years old, neither one of which are designed to support these amazing kids coming in. One of the most important things I tell new parents, well, just for our purposes, real quick, idea. How many grandkids in the group? Shiva, any grandkids? How many kids?
2,
And how old are they?
31.
31? Both of them?
No, the other one's 3 younger.
28?
Yeah.
Chuck, how about you? Any kids? Sure. Same offer as Glenn, I got extras. Wheelie?
35 and 40, and I have a grandchild that's 18 that I never see.
Okay.
She's with her dad.
Shirley, what you got?
0.
You got none? Mary?
I have 1 daughter and 2 grandchildren, 3 and 7. And
Okay.
I recognize them.
Do you have an idea energetically what kind of group that you might have read about that they may be in?
I'm still trying to figure it out, but I feel like I'm trying to offer my granddaughter especially, I don't know, through education, that's something to help her, you know.
Okay.
She
No,
feels
that's
like a
good.
weirdo with mom and dad. You know what I mean? Because she's unruly but she's real good with me, you know? So.
Perfect. But yeah, that's actually very common for our generation is if there's not a lot of material out other than the Indigo kids, if you really think of it, that's really out there about these new kids. It was always the Indigo and then maybe a little bit about Crystal or Rainbow kids, and we can talk a little bit about them a little bit.
I have a
Amy?
17-year-old daughter,
You're not that
and she's
old.
very awakened.
You started when you were 3 or something? What is this? 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And Glenn, you have no kids. So within that, within the working with these kids, whether it's job related or other people that you've had a chance to come across and you see their kids, they're not the same. Their operating system, the whole inner thing is completely different. And has structure adapted for any of it? The answer is no. There's another quick piece of the puzzle too. That's the family structure. You guys, all the parents coming in, and all from our generation, need to be trying to help our kids as best they can, depending upon where they are with their awakening. It's a lot about where it's all going to. Now, one of the things I like to talk about with the kids, well, let me go back. Let's just talk about the different types of kids. Indigos. Has everybody heard of the indigos at least? The indigos were initially coined back in the 70s. A lady by the name of Tappy was doing aura readings and started seeing these kids with an indigo color in their auric field. And she coined them the indigos. If you think of what's going on grand consciousness level, we need individuals to come in with the warrior energy to break up the old structure. Anything that lacks integrity, they're here to break it up. And you need the warrior energy to do that. But you also need people to construct the new structures and the new paradigms. So they actually have both energy. They have a creative side, but boy, if you are lying, if you lack integrity, it's like a red flag to a bull for these guys or girls. They're here to break down the old establishment. That was their initial thing. Crystal children. Now, well, let me go back to it. Indigos really came in heavily in the 80s and 90s. In mid-90s, probably 90% of the kids were indigos. One of my favorite individuals that I kind of represent as an indigo is Michael Moore, the filmmaker. All of his, if you've looked at all of his documentaries, they are designed around showing the lack of integrity in different phases of our society. That's what he does. He brings a spotlight to it. Crystal children, rainbow children. What does a crystal do in general? Any ideas? Just the general.
Store energy,
It stores energy. What else?
emits energy.
It accentuates energy.
That's what I'm looking for. It amplifies.
That's
So you have the crystal energy that allows additional focus to be brought in. And if you think of, if I was Source and I'm building a team, I need to have the warrior, the wizard, the healer, all of these different people as part of the team. And the crystal individuals really help to bring focus and clarity for what you're doing. Rainbow kids, pure love, absolutely amazing levels of love that they're able to hold on to. The latest kids I've been writing about in my second book are a combination of all kinds of energies. Now think of it once again from Source Things. Everything we have on this planet is vibrating faster and faster. So what do these new kids need to be able to thrive in that energy? This body of ours needs to be able to hold not only a higher level of vibration, but more. So literally their DNA is changing, allowing them to hold 20 and 30% more energy than we are, and the higher vibrations. So unless a parent naturally does something to pull them back into the lower vibrations of what I call separation consciousness or duality consciousness, these kids are designed to naturally be up here. What are we conditioned to do in society? I'm supposed to teach this child. I'm supposed to train him about the reality he's coming into. Do any of us really know what's happening in 10 years from now with our timeline? We are building it as we go, aren't we? It's fascinating, the level of change. We've seen all kinds of different prognostications over the last 20, 30, 40 years. But the timeline is changing every day by us and by these new kids that are coming in. They are here to help their parents move into the new vibrations. So less is more.